how many times did you find tax rules complicated? Well, basically any time. And how many times did you ask different accountants and tax lawyers and they had different answers? So it's very complicated to interpret the tax laws. And there are many interpretations, and on top of that, you have a law, you have an interpretation by the tax office, you have court verdict, and you have other rumors that are spreading around saying how you should interpret that law and how that should apply to your personal position. So basically you find yourself lost. So you ask accountant, hey, he or she says, well, that's how you do it. You ask a lawyer and he or she says another thing. Then you start reading some court verdict and they say other things. So it's extremely complicated. However, there is a way around that, and it's jumping directly into the horse mouth, which means you can apply for a tax ruling, which is an advance ruling on a certain tax matter. And the tax matter must relate to you. You cannot do it for somebody else, but you do it for yourself. Basically, you write a question to the local tax office saying, hey, this is the law, I don't understand. This is how I think it should apply. Please tell me if I'm right or wrong, and if I'm wrong, please give me a direction on that. Well, of course, it's not that easy. You have to write in legalese and you have to have certain item included, and then you also need to send it through a certified email address. So you can't just send them a letter, but you have to do properly. And you can do it yourself, or you can ask the help of a tax accountant or a tax lawyer. But long story short, that's what you're basically asking. Hey, this is how I think I should apply that to my case. Please tell me. But the most important thing is that you need to do it before starting your conduct. You cannot say, hey, I've been doing that for a while. Is that the right thing? Well, this is not an advanced ruling, because advanced means prior, before you actually start. So once you send them the ruling, then they have 90 days to answer. So you send them the tax ruling, you wait for 90 days for the official answer. And what happens is that they need to provide an answer that, of course, is in regard to your questions and needs to have the tax laws it refers to. They cannot say, no, this is not how you do it, but they need to say, this is not how you do it, or that's the way you do it. But if they say no, they have to say, well, because your interpretation is in conflict with that tax law, and therefore this is how you do it according to that other tax law you did not consider or you did not properly interpret. Now what happens? That every tax ruling only binds you and the tax office. So it doesn't bind everyone, it binds you and them. It can be used by other parties to interpret the same or a similar tax matter, but definitely it binds you. And if the tax office gives you a yes, a green light, you can go ahead. And they cannot run an investigation, or if they do so, they cannot appeal the way you interpret the law based on their green light. So it's very important. If you receive years down the road an investigation, you pull out the advanced ruling and say, hey, you told me that I could do that, so I did. And finally, there's a very interesting thing that if they do not respond to you within the 90 days time frame, you are right. Even if you got the wrong interpretation, even if you were not supposed that, even if that is illegal, well, they didn't respond on time. So as long as you do that, you're fine. But to me, this is a very important tool that oftentimes people forget. To get an advanced ruling, at least you can clear some doubts and avoid to live the uncertainty of running a tax investigation and possibly losing it.